Today, I have a very interesting range of individuals with me. Chetan, do you want to become an entrepreneur?
I'm not yet clear about it.
Where does this attitude come from? I'll do the exact opposite.
When people say no, I'll be like, I'll prove you wrong. I had this thing from the very beginning.
When you educate students about entrepreneurship, their interest in entrepreneurship declines.
When we work in a startup mode, there's no defined role.
My father doesn't know that I'm running a venture and also having a community.
How committed do you feel?
So that kinds of give me motive, want to start it early, make money early, settle early, then have your retirement early.
At what point in time you decided that you want to be the richest person in the world?
Intent. The goal was very clear. Let me be the richest person in the world and then maybe most probably become prime minister at the end.
So money is not the ultimate goal, or is it the ultimate goal? Should you start with it?
Money should be your second ultimate goal.
What is the first?
First ultimate goal is solving problems.
Hello and welcome to Guess India podcast. We are back at REVA University in Bangalore for another episode of Guessing a Podcast. Today I have a very interesting range of individuals with me. Some students, some trying to become an entrepreneur, aspiring to become an entrepreneur, some fiddling with entrepreneurship, and then some who have gone into a job and thinking, can I still become an entrepreneur? So this quest so far, we've been trying to talk to student turned entrepreneurs and also several stakeholders in the student entrepreneurship ecosystem. And we will try to understand what is it that enables student entrepreneurs? What is it that inspires them? What is it that helps them carry on? And what is it that kicks them home? And we've spoken to several student and entrepreneurs, enablers, and so on. And today I have with me a range of students and, on the overlap of studentship and entrepreneurship. And we are going to have a conversation with them. They will understand their mindset about their career aspirations, about their pursuits right now, and how they see themselves in the future as an entrepreneur, as a corporate professional, as different career choices, whatever they want to make. And most importantly, we're going to have a conversation where we have all these students speak, pour their heart out, speak all that they want to, because usually in the classrooms, students are less spurred. They're more spoken to. And as faculty, as enablers, we are always in the mode of, and also as parents, we are always in the mode of parenting, professing, mentoring, and we listen to them at the last. Today, we will listen to them first. So welcome everyone to this conversation. So I'm going to go around the table and have a quick round of introduction with each one of you so that we know who is here and, what are your experiences that we want to learn from today. So let's start with Chetan on my right. The first participant in this conversation. Chetan is a student at REVA University. He's studying BTech Mechanical, and he's experimented with a range of ideas, products in different competitions. Chetan, go ahead. Tell me why you're here and a little bit more about this.
Hello everyone. So I'm Chetanis, currently with some mechanical engineering student. Seeing on the ideas, so I want to just experiment myself in my engineering. So based on that, until now I have been participating in multiple competitions with the range of from IITs to the local universities. So when my first year, I have been participated in IIT Bombay and Roorkee Tech Fest. And in the second year, we have won the second prize, the runner-ups for the Skythrust Challenge, where we have to design missile and UAV systems. So in the same category, we have been trialing and testing out based on the competitions. So that is the path I am choosing. So experience is the most important thing according to me before executing something. So making my competitions as the path. So currently I'm experimenting so that I can become a good entrepreneur ahead currently in the system. So
Great. What do you think is going to happen in this conversation?
I think I'm just let out my experience, whatever I have done. So I'm based on that, I'll get to know till what extent I have been reached and what more I have to reach yet. So based on all your experiences, that is what I'm looking into. So
Great. Thank you so much, Chetan, for joining us for this conversation. We look forward to learning from Chetan about the several competitions that he's been in, various places that he's been going, and how is that shaping his aspirations for a future for himself. Let me now move to Aparna on my left. Aparna, thank you so much for joining. Aparna is also a student at REVA University,
Yes.
and she has attended a podcast. She is an aspiring entrepreneur. She wants to have her own production house.
To be true, I really want to have my own community, a very large community in the space of mental health and well-being. I'm a lot into psychology, to be very honest. I've gone through phases and I learned that no matter how big of an entrepreneur you are, your mental health should always be in a good state. That's how you can run your business or even help other people run their own businesses. So that's my vision and long term, if you say. But yes, I do also want to have a media agency in the future. But primarily, I want to create an impact. I want to be a leader and then inspire people. Yeah.
Great. Thank you, Aparna. From Aparna, we will learn how her early venturing into some of these ideas, podcasts on mental health, and how is she maturing it into a possible
Brand.
production,
Yes.
how's the brand, and so on.
Yeah.
So that is the perspective that Aparna will bring to the table. Thank you so much, Aparna. We look forward to the right.
My pleasure.
Next, let's go to to a student again, Pratusha. Thank you so much. It comes with a very different background. Earlier, we had Chetan from BTech Mechanical background, and Aparna, who is BSc Biotech triple major. A lot of deep science involved in the studies that she is doing, but she chooses a venture around mental health. Interesting. And now we have Pratusha, who is in LLB final year, and she has also ventured outside the boundaries of her discipline. Pratusha, please introduce us and tell us what have you done so far and what are your aspirations?
Hello everyone, I am Pratusha KP. I'm a final year law student and a CS aspirant. So the narrative for a law student is very different when it comes to entrepreneurship. All we get to listen is you have to thrive in the industry for like 5 to 10 years and then probably have your own law firm. So or either something like you earn under an established advocate for like 5 years and then probably invest it somewhere and then take that return and start your own firm. That is what we get to hear. But I would want to say that why not? Like, why shouldn't we like start in like 2 to 3 years? So I would want to understand other perspectives and probably get insights on why is it different for us to like start it like in 2 years, or why are we being told that you should only take 5 to 10 years? So that is my ideology towards this. So that is what I'm expecting.
Great, lovely. I think Pratusha brings a very different perspective. She is curious about entrepreneurship and she is wondering, can I start now? And right now, she does not have a formidable idea, but we think within the boundaries of my discipline, if I want to start something, why should I wait for 5 years?
Yes.
And though the questions will try to get answered. And probably to answer this question, we have with us Ankit, who is an alum of REVA University.
Yeah.
He did his MBA in 2022 here. And for the last couple of years, he's been working with the Fortune 500 automotive giant multinational corporation.
Yeah.
And he's been working a very interesting role. And now he's exploring entrepreneurship. Is it for me? Is it not for me? So over to you, Akhil. Please tell us a little bit about, you are here in this conversation, your role that you are in, and how do you think, how are you thinking about entrepreneurship?
Okay. So thank you for introducing me, and it's a pleasure to be here. So the role that I play is that when I started working there, It was part of innovation, and the idea was that how can we take a project that came in AI and how can we make that into a industry agnostic solution and give a hyper personalized experience to the users. So my role in that is I started as a business analyst doing the desirability analysis, viability, feasibility analysis. And then now as we are taking this into a proper shape and hitting the market, the idea is that I take care of the marketing side of the story, business development of the story. To be honest, when we work in a startup mode, there's no defined role. You have to do a role of uh, a normal layman job and also something strategic as well. So there's no defined role, but to quote it, I take care of the marketing and the business development.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about entrepreneurship?
So I'm experiencing it right now, of course, with the safety net of a corporate, but not specifically or typically like how corporate does it, because we are collaborating with a venture builder who is helping us. So we are actually working like that. And then, yeah, so the idea is to actually build this into a company and take it forward.
Great. So that is where I'm hoping that Badusha will get some answers for herself, right? Should you work? Should you not work? And here we have someone who is working with a safety net,
Correct.
still getting to experience the world of entrepreneurship in the sense that you have some freedom to do something new, and there's a safety net. But let me turn to someone who does not have a safety net, who did not have a safety net, and he has fallen through a couple of times. We have um, Ganesh with us. Ganesh is a third-time entrepreneur, and the current startup that he's doing is called Third Startup. The name of the startup is Third Startup because he's done two which have not worked out. So let us ask him, why on earth would you start without a safety net? And how has his experience been? So we'll ask all these questions to you, Ganesh, of course, but let's open at least with what you're doing right now, very briefly, and tell us how you're feeling about this conversation.
Thank you so first of all for having me. It's really a pleasure to be here. So my name is Ganesh Prasad Rao. I am juggling between a lot of things. One thing is, like you mentioned, currently pursuing my third startup. I'm also passionate about teaching. So I'm teaching young students of fifth semester to have their own venture and build that product mindset that we call in a course that I designed. I'm also pursuing my MTech in artificial intelligence, and as part of Third Startup, we are also helping other founders and businesses have their problem solved with technology. So that's in short. Let's see what comes on case.
Great. Okay. So that is what we have here on the table. We have wide range of students and student entrepreneurs, and we are just going to get our own answers. Everyone has questions. And most of all, I have a lot of questions because guest survey, has given us a lot of data, as I was sharing with you all earlier. But explaining that data with stories, why those numbers and how could we change those numbers? How could we get, design better policies? And we can't do that unless we know what is in the mind of students. Okay. So the very first question is, do students want to become entrepreneurs? This is the very first question. I'm going to go around the table to some of you to understand, do you want to be an entrepreneur? Yes, mostly all the people who are here, maybe, 2-3 of them have said explicitly or have practiced entrepreneurship. But Chetan, do you want to become an entrepreneur?
I'm not yet clear about it, sir. So that is why this started from the first year of engineering. The mainly in my mind first came to the topic of colleges. So before the entrepreneur thing, I wanted to choose if I have to be in the greater stage, it's known that you have to be in greater place. So that is where before entrepreneurship, I chose college where I'll get more experience. So not just in the path of learning, but also in the creative way. So I can figure it out based on the experience and the interest I will be having, and not based on others' feedback. So it's good that.
So what are top 2-3 choices that you have in your mind? You're in BTech, so you want to go for further studies?
Yes, so I had that stage till my second year. So due to some incidents, that has been changed now. So in second year, when I won that competition, the design challenge of UAV and the rocketry, that is where I explored the field of designing as a role of mechanical engineering student. So designing plays a major role, and it is the first team whenever we go for a corporate thing. So yeah, in that is where I got one clarity. So designing is my path. So that is my first choice.
Okay, so Chetan says design is his first choice. Whether he wants to go for higher studies or a job or entrepreneurship is not clear to him. Yes, I. Let's move to Aparna. Aparna, uh, you are already an entrepreneur. Do you think of yourself as an entrepreneur?
Yes, I think myself as a first generation entrepreneur. I always had the spirit from the very beginning. Let me tell you a story, like how it's a very interesting story started. Okay. I was
We
always
want to hear all the stories. Okay.
So I was always a top grade student when it came to science. At a very young age, I got to be the youngest to present at IAC and international conference. So I thought that I would do something in the space of science and research. The whole motto, like from the fifth standard, I wanted to become a scientist. But it turned out to be a whole different story. Then I entered REVA. Then I thought that okay, let me explore science more. Let me interact with the professors and see where can I reach in this field. And Ideathon came up, and I had a very problem statement that I need this, but no one is providing solution to this. So it all started with my personal issue, which became a problem statement, and then I pitched my problem statement with the solution at Ideathon. And very fascinatingly, people loved it. Investors wanted to fund for me. And I was like, hey, this is something interesting. I didn't know I had this side in me. And the fire came up. It's like, okay, Aparna, I feel like, you're moving to this thing and I really like what you're doing. And the addiction towards work and the obsession, it started over there. And but still, I was not very sure. I was skeptical like, is it entrepreneurship or is it science that I want to pursue? But in the coming few months, I realized I'm a lot into entrepreneurship and I want to completely put my focus over there, drift from whatever I want to do and shift my focus to entrepreneurship. That's how it started. And then along the way, I met a lot many new connections. Everyone, they were top players in the market, and they kind of saw it in me that I am going the same journey. So that confidence gave me a boost. Coming to my background, my parents aren't having a business or even my family circle, and so do my friends. So it became a very difficult journey for me to step into this, even having people saying no, you can't do this because you chose this. Go into the field that you already chose. Don't take a pivot from that. I was very stubborn. I'm like, I know what I want to do. I want to go ahead with it. So that's where I feel like the top players and even my peer founders gave me a lot of confidence in me that Apan, I'm proud of you and you can go ahead. And that's how it started. Now I have my own venture, where I sell products related to mental health and well-being, building a community in the same area. And also I'm learning by doing, I work for a production house. So I'm learning over there, but I'm trying to do my own things. Yeah.
Great. So amazing. So Aparna is coming from biotech background and then having an experience where she was appreciated for on this disciplinary competition. Investors are interested in me here. So these small wins we've seen in the past interactions, small wins inspire you to do bigger things. And I don't know if you think if you had a competition, a business competition within the biotech domain, you would have done that and you would have said, I build a business in biotech.
I feel like I started with it's a triple major course called biotechnology, biochemistry, and genetics. But I realized my interest is never into science or was never into science. So I feel like this competition, Ideathon, gave me a whole different perspective of who I am or who I want to become. So now it's all about into more about actual business rather than including science into my business. Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. So you are already experimenting with entrepreneurship.
Yes.
You have started something.
Yes.
And we'll ask you more on how you're building and what you're building.
Sure.
Okay. Let me go to Pratusha. Now, you did mention, the main question in your mind is, why can't I do now? How committed do you feel? How confident are you that, I want to become a doctor?
I feel like at this age we have this energy to do whatever we want, and I think I'd like to share like a small story, or like you can be like everybody would have gone through this. 4 or 5 friends sitting at a place drinking tea or coffee, whatever it is. I think more ideas build up over there. One comes up with the idea like, oh, I'll start my own firm, be it like poultry farming. Like, will you join? Like, no, I have an idea regarding I want to start or I will build app of AI or something with that. Somebody would come up with another idea. So if 5 or 6 friends are sitting in a place and discussing about an idea, I guess that gives you a lot of energy to, go forward. So that actually has given me an energy. And I cannot depend solely on that as well. I do have worked with seniors who tell me the real life stories of what they had to go through, even if they have their firm starting after 5 to 6 years, even after 10 years they take to start their own firm, they still say that we still face certain problems even after starting. So that kind of puts me a little back. But when it comes to this idea of making money in your early stage, so that kinds of give me motive to, want to start it early, make money early, settle early, then have your retirement early. So, and I feel like our generation, our life expectancy is kind of reducing. So I feel like do it pretty soon and then you can, think about that later. So I want to start it soon.
Okay, so very interesting. You're saying money.
Yes.
So far, we haven't talked about money at all.
Money.
She wants to make money quickly. She wants to settle early because who knows, life expectancy has reduced. Very interesting. Let me ask Dennis. Dennis, are you making a lot of money? You become an entrepreneur.
Not really.
Are you going to break some myths for Pradusha?
Yeah. So, thing is, you can't run away from problems, right? Problems are always there. Even if you make a lot of money, even if you don't make a lot of money, problems are always there. The thing that you should keep in mind while in your stepping into entrepreneurship is that I will solve problems no matter what they are, right? It can be business problems, it can be family problems, it can be people telling you something that you don't agree with, right? But your mindset should be that no matter what happens, I will solve those problems. I wake up each day and solve those problems, right? And money is a good thing, right? I was not focused on money for the past 2 years, but right now I'm very focused on money. Hopefully by next year we will have a lot of money made in third startup. But yeah, money is it was a taboo for me when I started entrepreneurship. Talking about money, I was in the mindset that, hey, let me build this product, people will start using it, and then one fine day money will come as a side effect of what I'm doing. But in the real world that is not the case, right? So you have to always keep in mind what is my business model, how is this venture of mine going to generate money, and how am I going to sustain my business with money, right? And then it is not about only money. How do you get money? You get money only when you solve the problems of people, right? You solve your own problems and also you solve people's problem. In law firm, when you say you take up cases and solve them, and with AI, I think there is a lot of opportunity for a domain expert to you leverage that and then build your own venture in your own domain, right? So yeah, so I would suggest that you don't in 2025 you don't have to wait for 4 to 5 years to start your own venture, right? Just step into it and then see what is available to you, what options are available to you, just dive it. Because the kind of learning that you get when you're working for a firm and when you're working on your own startup is entirely different. So even if you work for a firm for 5 years and then step into a startup, you will still have those learnings, right? Even if you start immediately after your graduation, you will still get those learnings, right? The kind of learnings might be different, but you will still get those learnings. So I would suggest the sooner you step into this venture building or entrepreneurship, the faster you will learn. And then talking about failures, they are always there. No matter, I've seen a lot of people, I've seen founders who are successful, founders who are building startups. Failure is always there, one way or the other. Few are very lucky with business background or business family business background, so they have this mindset tuned towards how can I generate revenue, right? How can I build this? Because a startup or a venture is only successful when you have revenue coming in, right? So few are very lucky in the sense, but most of them, around 80%, 90%, I would say, have been through failure, right? So you cannot accept that every thing will be like a walk in the park and everything will be fine. No, you have to be willing to accept failures and still push forward.
So money is not the ultimate goal, or is it the ultimate goal? Should you start with it?
Money should be your second ultimate goal.
What is the first?
First ultimate goal is solving problems,
Okay.
adding value to people, right? Find one, and when you're trying to solve problems, I've noticed this in my own venture that I've worked with, and my peers, entrepreneur peers who are working on it. When you're trying to solve problems, you start with an idea, right? Ideas are good, but then you have to see, is it helping somebody or not? And when you're picking problem, you have to see what is that one single pain point that you're trying to solve, right? You should not pick 2, 3, 4, 5. No, one single pain point. Start with that, solve, add value, and then keep on adding more problems to it.
So what you're saying is there is a method to it.
Yes.
As a student, I'm trying to understand how do you make choices, right? Who is helping you differentiate or prioritize those choices and then choose one? Okay. So here is someone who says, I want to make money, settle early. And here is someone, who's saying, hey, money should be second, focus on the problem. And then there is a lot of theory around how you build ventures. So forget about settling early. You are, first of all, unsettling yourself a lot for many, many years, right? So let me go to Akib now, who's working with a company, but had the opportunity to function like an entrepreneur, right? You have freedom, you have resources, you have safety net, and you're getting a monthly,
Payroll.
pay.
Yeah.
So you're making money that way. But are you thinking about entrepreneurship? Are you inclined? And when you think about that, how do you weigh these choices? Am I going to leave my job and become an entrepreneur, or should I have done it earlier? Are you thinking all these things?
Okay, so when you say safety net, to be honest, in corporate, it sounds like safety, but we equally have the same threat because anytime they can kill us. Yeah, because it's one of the project. So when you ask about entrepreneurship, yes, that's the goal. But it's my personality and individual choice that I have always been a calculated risk taker, where I do take risk and the repercussion behind it. So the whole idea was, let me experience this whole journey of -1 to 0, 0 to 1, then 1 to 10, and then somewhere 1 to 100 when you're going. And then when you have your own venture of my own, maybe in future, of course the problems will be there, the risks will be there. But sometimes there's a saying, right? The known bad is better than the unknown bad.
Yeah.
So I'll be aware of what is it. So of course there will be unknown bads as well, but I'll be mature enough to handle that. So of course that's the aspiration. Yeah.
So you're building an experience and trying to make mistakes within a safety net, in the sense that, there's a corporate which is backing up what you do. But do you want to become an entrepreneur? That's not clear in it.
Absolutely, yes. That's the
Yes.
reason.
Okay.
And the way, the purpose that I would have been put in this role is because they would have seen me that, okay, this is a guy who is crazy, who's doing something different. Let him put there, let him do all the things that he wants to do over there. Because not everyone in corporate comes with this thought process that I'll put everything towards work rather than just going on times.
So how do you, as a student, in your 20s or maybe before 20s, at this age, how are you making your career choices? Who are you talking to? Who is counseling you? Where are you reading about it? What are the factors which are actually telling you to choose? How do you do it, Pratusha?
Right now, I'm pursuing CS as well. So, to be very honest, in my 12th, when I was studying 11th and 12th, I was forced to choose either CA or CS at that time because that was a mandate in our college to take up. Then I decided, like, why not? CS is a good option. Then, because of CS, I took up law because I thought law would help in order to clear CS pretty early. And then it also would give me, and there was an article, like 2 or 3 articles that I read about where a lot of companies were preferring CS who would have had law background. So that would help them. So I thought, why not I do it? Anyways, I would get 5 years of time to clear CS as well. Then I can also think about making, like having my own startup ideas. By the time of 5 years, I would have a clarity. Then I will implement it. That is what my main intention was, to do CS. But in 5 years, things change a lot. The way you start won't be the way you end up. So till my 4th year, I had a clarity that I'll finish my CS, then I continue. But you come to final year, You see people around you, you get very tensed. Your friends are getting placed. Your seniors will come up and they're like, you know what, I'm in this firm, I'm placed, I'm earning this much, I'm doing this. This is my forte. They tell all of those. And you also see seniors who are like, you know what, I'm working for like 12 hours straight. I'm getting paid only 5,000 per month. And you feel a little depressed as well. So when you come to your final year, I think like, you have to run your mind even more to have an idea of what you will do probably after this. But the inner child inside you always would want to, do something that you always wanted to do. I would always want to be the first year Pratusha who always wanted to have her own startup. But then it also, you the reality always hits you, and you're like, if you have to start your own startup, you need to have money. You can't go ask your parents. You have no security till now. So how will you do it? So that thought also runs in your mind. So
Who do you go talk to when you have to discuss all this?
first is friends, because they're pretty acceptive. They kind of listen to you, take talk, listen to you, give their opinion. And as they're of same mindset, like your friends are of same mindset, so they kind of get what you're telling. You'll not have to sit, convince, give examples. You just have to say this and they'll understand. Second, I would definitely go to my father, because he is very supportive. And I also come from a business background. He owns a dealership of Mahindra tractors. So as both of my parents are from business background, secondly, I go and tell them. But coming from a second child, they take it in a different way. They're like, you're being pretty, take your time, think about it, then do. Or it comes from a perspective of security for them as well. But
your father is a businessman.
yes,
And if you say, I want to start something of my own, they say, think about it.
they'll say, yes, do it. But they'll be like, think about it. It'll come in a very sarcastic way. The I'm just being honest.
Okay, absolutely. Let's be honest. Yeah.
So it'll come a little in a sarcastic way, because as a younger sibling, they see you in a different way, because they are always protective about you. They make sure that you don't take decisions. But younger kids are more like that. They're pretty rebel and they want to do something. If they want something, they make sure, they kind of get it by hook or by crook. And they are pretty, very okay in convincing their parents by using their own tactics.
What about you, Ganesh? I mean, you attempted a couple of ventures, right? Are parents waiting for a huge success? Are neighbors waiting for it? Are there people who are sarcastic?
So in that account, my parents are not from. I'm not from business background. My parents, my mom and my dad was not there. Were extremely supportive of me taking up entrepreneurship. When I was young, my mom used to always tell that, because as a child, your parents invest in you, like the education, the learnings. It's like an investment that a parent makes to their child. So she's only used to say like, you are my money tree. I'm waiting for you to grow and give back money. As she keeps,
You are a money tree.
each child is a parent's money tree in that aspect.
Okay.
But my blooming is still taking some time. But yeah, again, people talk, right? No matter what you do, people talk what they want. You cannot really avoid it. You cannot run away from it, right? But what you can do is have a filter and choose what you want to listen to, right? And like you said, there are friends, all kinds of peers, all kinds of mentors, right? But it all depends on which circle do you choose to get into. Like, you always have that choice of where do I put myself into, because the saying goes that you are the sum of people that you surround yourself with. That is very true, because the kind of conversations that happen when you're with those people, the kind of problem statements, thoughts that come into when you surround yourself with those kind of people, really affect and have a great impact on your way of thinking, right? So if you constantly surround yourself with people who are skeptical, who are thinking of, I'm working so much, getting this much paid, or I'm getting working for 5 days a week, Saturday, Sunday, full party, right? You are keen to think in that way because you have no other sensory input that is coming to you. But again, in this modern age, you always have a choice of what kind of content you consume, right? So even though you may not have direct access to the circle that you want to be in, but you always have the choice of what kind of content you can consume to build that perspective around you, right? But then there is one more thing to this, that do not get stuck into consuming content, because that is like a high on its own, right? You feel that, okay, I'm watching 5 to 6 podcasts or 5 to 6 YouTube videos, or I'm reading blogs every day, and you get that high of that I'm learning something.
I had one student who said, I don't want to go to college. I learn from YouTube. I want to self-educate myself.
That is good. That is good. I definitely learned a lot of things from YouTube and reading blogs and stuff. But then I've also been in a place where I have been constantly consuming and not implementing anything, right? So you feel that you are productive, but you're not actually productive, right? So you have to find that balance of consumption and action. So even though you're not in a circle, you can filter and choose the type of content you want to consume, and while consuming that, put it into action. Whatever you learn, you have to put action and in real world to have those learnings firsthand.
Right. So let's talk about when you took a decision to start a venture, right? Who did you consult? How did you arrive at the decision when taking that step?
So I got placed from REVA only. I was the only person to get placed in the company from around 400 in a batch. But after a year and a half, I was very lucky in that company, a huge sister corp. I'm proud to mention that company's name. The people there were very supportive of me. They put into me all kinds of different projects, many learnings, and COE Center of Excellence projects as well. So I was building systems from ground up. So
you graduated and you worked for a company?
Yeah, I graduated and worked for about 1.5 to 2 years. Okay. I worked,
and then
right? It was COVID, so I realized that even though I was sitting at home working, I was round the clock working. So what I was doing was really interesting for me. So the money again was a side effect of what I was interested in doing. My parents used to tell me, hey, you don't really have to sit at 10 in the night, 12 in the night and work, because everybody sits at 9:30, 9 to 5 is a regular thing. But I always used to tell them that this is something that I enjoy. I don't feel like it is work. And that's when it started hitting me that, okay, people are supporting whatever I'm learning. There is a input that is coming, a requirement that is coming. Whatever is required, I learn from the internet and then I implement. So why not I just put my own requirement and then work towards that?
Okay.
So that's when I I think I did it for 2-3 months while I was in the job. I was building from scratch. I was researching. And then I felt that, okay, now it is at a point where my balance is a bit shaky. I'm not able to divide my time into company work and my venture. That's when I wrote my resignation to the company saying that, hey, I want to pursue this. I feel like I'm stepping on 2 boats at once. So please let me resign and work on my thing.
Okay.
They were very happy to do that.
But then the monthly pay stops.
Monthly pay stops. Monthly pay stops.
So now what?
So monthly pay stops, yes. But then again, my very naive mindset was that you solve something, you build on your idea, right? And then the money starts coming sometime in the future. That was very wrong mindset that I had. Right? Realized very.
Why do you call it naive? Why is it wrong?
It is wrong because when you're starting something, you have to think of revenue, because in the kind of society that we live in, nothing runs without money, right? You want to get to point A to point B, you have to have money. Even like you cannot bargain even a single rupee with an auto driver or a cab, right? So everything runs on money. So you should have that mindset of, okay, I'm getting into that. What should be my source of income? How should I run this? But then back then I was very lucky because my parents were supportive of the decision. And by the way, when I was young, I used to consult my decisions with my parents. But my parents said to me, okay, after you graduate, it is up to you. You can make your own decisions. So when I resigned first, and then I told my
Then you told them.
Yeah.
Okay, so were they shocked?
Yeah, they were shocked.
Were you allowed to enter the house? I mean,
It was work from home. They had no choice to keep.
oh, you were there only. Okay. What was the friends' reaction there?
Uh, friends' reaction. Okay, people talk, right?
Did you consult them?
No, I didn't consult them. I didn't consult any.
Did you inform them?
I didn't inform them.
So you don't basically.
Yeah, like inner compass was telling me that okay, you quit and then start. Let's just get into it and then let's figure it out.
Okay.
Right. And then 2 years down the line, after two failed startups, I feel that back then, if I had just focused on the source of income more, if I just focused on talking to my customers more, I would have failed early. Like failing is fine, right? Because only when you fail, you have those learnings. If you succeed, you don't know what kind of learnings you should actually get.
So yeah, I see that, Ganesh's lot of focus is on revenue. You say that problem first, but revenue is second, and that has to be built into. I hope, Pratyush is listening in very intently. Let me go to Akib now.
Yes.
Akib, listening to all of this, especially with Ganesh sake, these are my mistakes. I should have thought about this, that. How are you taking your career decisions? Of course, you've done a master's, so age-wise, you are slightly more ahead of most people when you would have made your choices. But how did you make your choices earlier versus now? And if at whatever time you decide to step onto the entrepreneurship, how would you make that choice?
Okay. So coming to the first part of the story. So when I was in the university, when I was doing MBA, I am always a believer that the learning happens outside the classroom. Yeah. So
we are sitting in a university.
yeah, that's okay.
You're talking to a professor. No, absolutely.
Yeah. And luckily, the university was also supportive. So I was always being part of this challenges, business challenges. Took part in a business challenge in IIM Indore. Very well supported by the university itself. तो मेरा ये था कि बस let me do everything that I can do in MBA.
Right.
And somewhere, the student ego and the confidence comes in कि बस getting a job for me is more easier than losing a job. So I always had this confidence कि placement तो हो ही जाएगा. What's there? So did not give any interviews as well, because I was very clear, if I have to give an interview, I'll give. So I'm kind of a student. If teachers ask like, students, which is your dream company, and people say Apple, Google, and all, I'm the guy who would say anybody who pays me more. So I was like very clear that the company which is going to come, who's going to offer a certain range that I am looking for, and also a job which I am also looking in. So I was very clear in what I want to do, and I applied for it, and I cracked it in the first place itself. So that was a mindset that I had. And the other thought was कि अगर placement नहीं होगा तो धंधा तो कर ही लेंगे यार, मतलब. So that was a.
Where does that confidence come from? Are you from business background? Does your family have
No.
businesses? So in this word dhanda is, very particular to people in Gujarat, in Mumbai, in more commercial belts of the country, where you have a lot of community, which is doing business. That is ingrained in your mind, or it is ingrained in how you are raised. You see all of that here around you growing up. So how did you get this?
So luckily I studied in Air Force School.
Okay.
So the classroom was full of India. So you had people from Gujarat, you have people from Punjab, you had people from every part of the country. And the upbringing of that initial stage of the whole school journey of 10 years have always been very exploratory, out of the box thinking, doing something different rather than sticking to one linear thinking. So that thought was always there, and the aspiration was always there. I don't know why, but I want to be the richest man in the world.
Yes.
Of course, I'll define why, the purpose, the values and all. But goal clear hai, कि this is what I want to do. So that was the thought. So that has always been there कि कुछ बड़ा करना है.
At what point in time you decided that you want to be the richest person in the world?
In 10th.
In 10th?
Yeah.
And you've never revised and reflected on this?
No, the goal was very clear. Let me be the richest person in the world, and then maybe most probably become prime minister at the end.
You first become the prime minister, then become richest.
No, I become a richest person and then
And
go to the social call. Okay, sounds different.
Okay, I don't know how youth is thinking today. So this is very educational part. Okay.
So yeah, so the thought was always there, and then I did not have clarity on what I will do as my bachelor's degree, but I had the clarity that I'll do MBA. Because I had seen my uncle doing MBA and being part of business, and he became a banker. So that clarity was there. And when I was in the business school as well, I was very clear that marks are secondary. 60% or 70% is the cutoff that normally companies prefer. I'll get that much. And rest all, let me focus on all the extracurricular activities. Let me do all kind of things that I can do and extract all the opportunities that the college gives, rather than me waiting ki ye missing hai, ye missing hai. Let me find out everything that college gives and let me exploit it to my best.
Okay.
So I think I did a pretty good job.
Yes, you did a pretty good job and you landed a pretty good job. The question is, are you thinking of leaving the job and starting call?
Right now, no. Right now, the focus is to build a venture, prove it. Boss, he's the man who can do it.
Within the company.
Within the company, and of course, when it becomes a venture as well, and take it to a stage where so the colleagues that I work with, so I've been fortunate that they are the best minds in the company, because they are the ones who come in the innovation and think for the future strategy. So all these people who have worked, no, they have always been part of a product or a journey where it is nothing. It is like a zigzag line. If you have read that business model canvas, so there's a line which is zigzag and then it becomes straight. So the fun is in that, when you're working in that uncertain thing. When it becomes clean, it becomes a machine. Wo to anybody can run it. So everybody has worked in this and come out of it and built something again. So I'm in that uncertain thing. When it becomes a self-running machine, then it doesn't need me. It can run on its own. It becomes a machine which runs on its own, because there's a customer, there's revenue coming, there's always a service or a maintenance going on, and everything is going on. And let me find something new to pick. So maybe when I get that realization of, boss, I have clicked that point when this can run on its own. Now let me either expand it to some different things which is much more challenging and difficult, or let me take a different decision.
Aparna, how are you thinking about it?
I'm in the same shoes as him. Coming to my college, most of the time my brain is always in the extracurricular things. Like, what next can I do? What idea can I come up with for my business? And how can I connect more? How can I learn more? So if you ask me if I'm actually attending college, I would say no, because I'll be attending events. I'll be attending events, and for me, it's like the mindset that I get from meeting new people. That's what gives me the boost. I've met a lot many people, and that has completely channelized how I think right now. And even as he mentioned, consuming content on internet, when I look at people, like what are they doing? I mean, they're all young founders, okay? So I get like, okay, a young founder like him or her can think that way, and it is making them reach at a point A or B. What can I think to reach at a point where I want to reach? So I feel like connecting more with people with a similar mindsets is helping me more, because when it comes to my college, I come from a very different background, and what I'm doing is totally different. So the kind of support you get over here isn't really great. I see always myself as an outcast. People see me as an outcast because she is doing something different. मेरे पल्ले नहीं पड़ रहा कि ये क्या कर रही है. So I have to look for another source of drive, and that drive only comes from when I am doing what I want to do, going all in, and I'm meeting new people who are in the same mindset or in the same journey. Yeah.
So have you been venturing out and talking to such people?
Yes. I've been doing that for the past couple of months, talking more to people, sharing my ideas. How can they help me with, whatever they could provide, or how can I help them grow?
What kind of people? How do you find them?
You attend events, basically. I'll tell you one example. There was one event which Saad Khaja hosted. He's very good at sales. He's a very prominent figure. So I happened to go over there to learn more about sales. How do you do cold calls? How do you do cold DMs? And how do you pitch your sales? And over there, met very interesting people from different rates. Like someone who is working, wants to start their own venture. Someone who dropped out of college, and the courage, when you drop out of college and you don't know what to do, but you want to start your own venture. So that kind of motivation I went for, and I got it over there. Someone who is also, a student like me and is probably figuring out, how do I scale up my business? So that one. And probably, when I move extracurricular activities में जब मैं करती हूँ, okay, I have this business workshop, let me go there, let me network over there. Or, I host events, like, okay, let's do a founders meetup. Let's do a creators meetup in my own circle. And they bring their own friends. And that's how we start to connect more and figure out what actually we want to do in life.
Interesting. So you're a student. There is not one direction that you're thinking. Is there extracurriculars? There's sports, there are several competitions, size competitions children have been participating in. So there are so many different things that are happening around you. And you have so many choices to make. Yes. Right? Now, all this conversation, Chetan, is it making sense to you? Are you feeling forced in a conversation about entrepreneurship? Are you feeling inspired? Are you, what is at the top of your mind? Right?
It's nothing like force, sir. So all these factor, it's like when I come to my point, it will be like summing up, because I'm the first graduate in my family. I'll be the first graduate in my family till now. So I say that the brought up by your family matters a lot. Or choosing our career. So the first thing I want to say that choosing the career, it all started in my schooling, sir. So I took a decision that I'll be joining volunteering, that is Scout and Guides, in my schooling. So using that point, I got an opportunity to go for a Karnataka Darshana. So that was a free opportunity by government, where I got it for 5 to 6 days for traveling all over Karnataka for free with group of students in the volunteering system itself. So seeing that, my father used to say that never fall behind money, make money fall behind you. Okay. So that is where you grow up. That is when you grow up. So seeing that, and my mother used to you need to have constant pay, because they are from the rural completely thing. So she was get into a government job, and I need you to get a constant pay, and I don't need you to take more risk in the life.
Risk.
Risk is the factor what they mention. So stating that, she was happy when I got that volunteering thing, because that was related to government, and she thought I'll take her path. So going for government job. And then when I come to 12th, so that was my decision point for choosing my career. So what I made in that time is that I got to know that I'll be joining for REVA, mechanical engineering. That was decided through my government seat. And then, but I was thinking, what next? I have chosen mechanical engineering. What are the opportunities in that? So I created a flow chart. So it was A1 size sheet flow chart. Government jobs, PSUs, and again, when it comes to private sector companies, what are all the opportunities? So when it has to be executed, for example, when it comes to GATE exam, we can write in 3rd and 4th year. And we have railway exams, SSC exams. So when this has to be executed, that was my plan. And once I entered into this college, and that plan was completely changed, because as they mentioned, the friends, the mindset what we meet up is there. So I joined for PG outside, and I got a roommate. Luckily, we both had same mindset. So that is where we have reached here. So he was an aerospace engineer. He joined for aerospace engineer. So we both collaborated. So I can say that without him, so he was Abhayanandan. So without him, I would have not been here today. So that is we have been working together. So without his support, I would have not attended competitions, or without my support, he wouldn't have. Because competition comes in 2 points mainly. One is teaming up. So if we go for competition mainly, when it comes to technical part, team is the most important thing. And once we get into the team, the mindset matters. So it's not like we can just group up anyone who are interested to join up. The mindset and the way of thinking should matter, and we have to involve within each other so that we can bring to a good output. So that is where I choose for competition. And when it comes to financial, competition prize money was my first note down, because that's true, because I wasn't ready to ask my parents for the money.
Your dad said don't follow money, and you're like, money.
Yeah, because I didn't wanted to stuff my parents that accept this engineering fees part. I want to take this extracurricular activities, and they get to know that he's doing something else and I was thinking something else. So that is where I summed up that both are in my way. So competition, innovation is in my way, and also the money, which is most required, because especially as I'm a mechanical engineer, without testing nothing happens for us. So before we create a product, we need to test for 10 to 20 times, and that needs financial assurance, and financial assurance is difficult from home side. So this is all where got summed up, and the main thing was the award which I received in my schooling. So I got Raja Puraskar award, which was used to receive from Governor of Karnataka, but due to COVID, I wasn't able to. But certificate was delivered to me. So that thinking, and the parents' thinking, and the friends' thinking, and my mindset hone. So all this merges up together, and it's true that we can't decide before itself. It's in the path and the choices we make, the career is chosen. That is how I'm thinking.
Amazing. Chetan has taken over my job here. Yeah, you summarized it so well. I mean, I don't think I could have done a better job than this. So there are a lot of factors for students.
Yes,
Mostly people around them. When you are at home, then your parents. And when you go to college, it's more friends that surprise. Friends shape your decisions.
True.
Amazing. Very interesting. So let's move into another discussion now. We've so far understood your aspirations, how you make choices, who influences those choices, and where have you built these aspirations from, like competitions, from somebody telling you you can't do it, and so on. So now, how are you actually doing it? Okay, now we have put Chetan, who hasn't initiated, and he's clearly say that I'm not on an entrepreneurship path. Maybe it is for me, maybe it is not for me. It is on the path, right? Yes, on the path. Has figured it out. Amazing. Nice. Fine. We have it. And then we have people who are saying, hey, why can't I be an entrepreneur now? Putusha, right? There is someone who is actually practicing entrepreneurship now, being a student, and there is someone who has practiced it for last 3-4 years. Okay. So how do you actually do it? How did you begin? Where did you get the idea? We have briefly touched upon that. But what were the first steps? How did you think about the very first, idea is there now. Now, what do I do? What is next for me? Let's start with Aparna.
For me, it started my own circle itself. I knew.
So first introduce the idea.
Huh.
What is the idea you're working on?
Okay, I'll tell my previous idea that I was working on. How did that start? So, earlier I had my first venture, which apparently failed. It was a telemedicine app. And I had this whole idea. See, I want to do it a quick commerce way. I want to deliver it in 10 to 15 minutes. That was the whole notion, because I've seen people who need a medicine in time, but they're not. It started with me, I was very sick. Like, I was having high fever and then headache, and my roommates weren't there. And so my friends stayed very far by. And now I'm like, how do I get medicine for myself? There's no one to help me. And that's where the idea, the problem statement started, and I started to brainstorm. What if we do something which Zepto or Blinkit does? The model is the same, but we are delivering medicines over here. It was kind of risky, to be honest, because I'm dealing with health over here, but I was all in that I want to do something in this sector. Then I have a friend who is a lot into tech, AI and stuff. I told him, see, I have this idea. How can we bring this to life?
And you're sick right now.
No.
We all get sick. We did not think. We are sick. We have temperature 102 when we think the air at bigger app.
Yeah, it was. I wanted to make an app, that was for sure. And then I tell my friend, like, hey, I had this thing, and I came up with this idea that I want to do this because it's a real issue. And okay, if not me, there's someone who's very old, probably in their 60s, and they're living alone. And what about them? How will they figure? They can't go, or probably the neighbors might not come in time. So, what do you do in that scenario? So then he's like, okay, let's get started. And that's where Ideathon was taking place at the same time. And then we had a very brief pitch, like, this is the idea, this is the vision. How can we bring it to life? But we got a lot many feedbacks. How will you actually do it? It's health sector. How feasible will it be? A lot of investment is there. But we were like, we are very stubborn. We somehow gonna do it. And that's where we incubated at REVA Nest. Very fun factor was that, no one, coming to my family, my dad has this risk factor again, as he mentioned. The risk factor is like, Aparna, you're just gonna study, get good marks, secure a job, have a high pay income. I'm a very different kind of person. I'm the only child. So I'm like, I'll do the exact opposite you told me. I will study, but my main focus will be my business. I'll generate revenue, or even if I'm not generating revenue, I'll have that content or the satisfaction that I'm doing something for myself or for the society, and money will come along the way because I have a cause, I'm meeting the cause for it, and money is flowing along the way. So that's how it started, and then I was.
But where does this attitude come from? I'll do the exact opposite. Tell us a little bit more. I want to understand at what point do you develop enough confidence to say, my father is saying this, now I will do the exact opposite.
When people say no, I'll be like, I'll prove you wrong. I had this thing from the very beginning. I didn't have any support. So for me, it's like you have to be your own mockingbird now. Be your own mockingbird, then show people. My main concept was like I want to inspire people at the end of the day.
You know what? We're going to use that against you now. Whatever you want to do, whatever we want you to do, we will say you can't do it. Reverse psych.
When it came from my own plate, when my father only told like, hey, Apana, I don't want you to do because there's a lot of risk involved. And even my family was very skeptical, like which path is she getting into? She wanted to do something else and she's doing something different now. I wanted to become a scientist and they saw the pivot happening. Like, why is her mind changing? What is happening? So I wanted to tell them, see, I know you don't have that confidence in me, but I'll make sure that I'm going to prove that I'm capable enough.
You're the bell.
I'm a rebel kid. And this started, and when I started to meet people like who are actually top founders, I met very big personalities. And when they saw that fire in me and they told like, Apan, I see that and you can do it, that gave me a push, like that gave me an adrenaline rush, like, okay, well, other people.
Might be gas fire. Speak slow.
When the other people had confidence in me, I was like, I can do it. I can do more. And I started to actually work on it, started to take it as a full-time thing.
As parents, I think, and then we correct our kids a lot. So that's the message for parents. We keep on correcting with your best interest in mind, of course, right? We want our kids to grow fine and have no risk. And we want that to be safe, and we want to make sure that, they don't fail anywhere. Probably that's working against that. You don't want us to do that. You want us to let you fail. Let you try whatever. As to fail is a very strong word, but let you learn on your phone. Let you take the risk that we have not been able to take.
To be honest, my father doesn't know that I'm running a venture and also having a community. Probably through this podcast, he'll know that I'm actually doing this. Yeah.
Okay, great. Very interesting.
Sir, adding on to that, like the parents part, like I wanted to add a point that,
And what?
so actually, parents, they set a point that, they set in current generation, seeing my generation and my age people. So I say that, the basic needs are set for us. Basic whatever we need, and we can survive 5 to 6 years along the line currently in this situation, even if we are not able to earn. And when parents set a safer side to us, and few students fall behind, so that we can maintain. So why we have to jump into? But that is that point where it matters for us to get into thing. So currently I'm the elder one, so I have my younger brother. So my parents prefer that I have to be in safer place, because my brother is like, I'll do whatever I want. He doesn't want to study much. He's like, I want to experiment. I want to enjoy. So my mother is like, see, he doesn't listen to me.
You have to listen to me double.
No, whatever you want to do, just do. But I just need a constant pay, and you need to be stable in the line. So this is the I think that major points. So major families.
Do you feel responsible? Do you feel tied up?
I feel responsible, sir. I feel responsible, and that is also a point due to which I am, taking this path, because I have in my mind that I have to break the chain, the loop. So what my mother is saying, that I have to get in the constant pay. But this generation is not like that. So whatever you see, the influencers or that path, so they're just breaking the chain by doing whatever they want. They're just experimenting. I'm just in the same path. So that is why I love traveling, and I just travel and experience. So in my first year, Bombay, Rookie, and again third year, Hyderabad. That is how I have taken the path.
Not constant pay, constant expenses.
Yeah, I am just currently having the constant expenses, but I'm good to say that I'm just not taking parent support currently completely.
You winning competition.
Yeah, I'm winning competition. I'm funding ourselves. I'm trying out.
You are already an entrepreneur. You know what you want and you're getting it.
Yes, sir. So this point of thinking between parents and the students in this gap, I think this is the where we are mattering.
I'll go to Ganesh now. See, Ganesh, very interesting thing that he has said. He feels responsible, and the younger brother is probably more a rebel. He's not really has to listen double to his parents. But I see a rebel growing in him gradually. I want to travel. I will fund it. I'm responsible.
Yeah.
I don't know whether you are feeling responsible or whether you are showing to them by not borrowing the money that you are responsible, but it feels like you want to do something on your own.
Yes.
Whichever career path you choose. Ganesh, you've taken this path, right? How have you felt towards your parents? Did you feel pressurized to take up a job and then you decided on your own and your parents had no option but to keep you at home? COVID time, then they supported you. But do you feel responsible? Do you feel you are putting a lot on, them also at risk? Are they financially dependent on you? How have you been through this?
So when I first resigned my job, after I resigned, I told my parents. So I knew that I had a few years, 2 years of runway where I can depend on them. Right, but right now it's not the case. Right now, my parents are dependent. My mom is dependent on me. My family is dependent on me. So you have to, like you're saying, we have to take calculated risk if you're stepping into entrepreneurship games. That because when, especially in India, right, a student or a child is always dependent, like always within the family circle. You cannot break away from that chain. If you're in a foreign country or 16, 18 and they are thrown out into the world, you do what you want.
That's the culture, yeah.
That's culture. But as an Indian culture, we have to always think about our family and we have to take calculated risk of, okay, till what time can I be dependent on my family to support me? And from what point should I take care of my family at home? Right. I am at a point right now where I have to constantly think about money and how to support back. In that aspect, I'm still very lucky that my mom supports me with wholehearted. But yeah, you can take risk. It is very good that you are using your competition money to fund your side. But it is okay till you graduate, because student life, right? These 4 years that you get, you have to explore. You have to get into whatever you can to explore, because in India the conditioning is that you either get into engineering, medical, or law, or CS math, because there are only few choices that are that we are aware of, because that is the conditioning that we grew up into. Our parents know something and they put it onto us. The student life is the only time where you get to explore different things. You have to come out of your comfort zone, explore different things to exactly know what you want to be. You told you wanted to be a scientist. Even I wanted to be a scientist. I wanted to be a cartoonist because I was watching a lot of cartoons when I was young, right? And then scientist, and then something else going on, right? So you have to explore a lot of things to know that what is exactly that you are to do, because I believe that every human that was born has a compass that he's directed towards that, and your job is to find what is that you want to do, and you will find it only when you start exploring, right? So you have to come out of the comfort zone, explore a lot of things to find out what you want to do, and along the way failures are going to come. It is inevitable. Nobody in life is like, I've not failed in anything. Failure is okay, right? You have to accept that it is okay. It is a learning for me, right? And then move towards what can I do better? What can I learn from this? And then move, not make the same mistakes again. So like once you accept that fact, everything else is clear, right? You're just moving forward no matter what happens. Obstacles come along the way. That is a fact. No life is without obstacles, by the way. Even now, for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Obstacles are on the way. You have to just move on, right? So in life, you just have to keep moving forward, face obstacles, keep solving problems. That is the only thing that we can do as humans, right?
Ganesh comes, with a lot of experience, and hence, he moves into that zone where he starts sharing.
It's not a lot.
Yeah.
I know one more thing. Like,
It makes you a philosopher. Now you can't stand up when you're already a philosopher.
I mean, would like to add on to one thing. When you're young, I feel like you shouldn't be afraid. You shouldn't be afraid to try out. When you're young, try to make more mistakes. You learn from there. Explore as much as possible. Learn from there. So I feel like when you're young, don't be afraid. Just go out there and experiment.
Yeah.
You are very lucky that you got a roommate, right?
Yeah.
And in entrepreneurship, the key thing is that don't think that you should do it alone, right? You have to find a co-founder or a partner or somebody who is tuned to the same goal, right?
Yeah.
Because when you have somebody with you who is having the same goal, the manifestation becomes very rapid,
Right.
right? Like you can share ideas, you can share thoughts, you can, arrive on a decision, arrive on a conclusion very rapidly. Otherwise, it's just you thinking about yourself, internal discussion that gets you nowhere. Like when you have another person with you, when you have a team with you, right? Everything it flows so much smoother, like, right? So when I first started out, the first two failures, I didn't have a co-founder, I didn't have a partner. But right now, I'm very lucky that I have a partner who, like, he was my batchmate. We know each other from a decade ago. Like we are both in the same life. Like we are very lucky. We have discussions and arrive to the conclusion. Like when you're starting out, find people who are tuned to the same goal, right? Work with them. And one thing about entrepreneurship is that you have to have that ability to convince people, right? Without convincing, you cannot do anything. You have to. That is a manipulating. That is put
Selling your idea, right? Yeah, it's if business you're selling, and if you can't sell the idea to someone else who will join forces with you, how would you proceed? Great. So I think these are all good thoughts. You will find your co-founder probably in your hostel, in your class, right? We have all these opportunities available at the university where you study. That is probably, until school, you are still a lot in the influence of your teachers and parents. But in college, you have suddenly more freedom. You can choose to go to the class. You can choose to stay away. You can choose to go to competitions and so on. What kind of university do you want? I'm a university genie, okay? You have three wishes. What do you want universities to be like, so that you can explore all you want, you can become whatever you want. And I'm not saying entrepreneurship only. Hey, right now, there is so much we want to explore, and this is where we are going with the conversation, right? I want to be in sports, I want to do cultural, I want to do, a competition, and so on. I want to travel, experience life, have friends, and this, that. What kind of university do you want? What do you want to change? Three things you want to change in the university.
I feel like, they should give us the freedom to learn by doing. Most of the universities don't. They're like, I'm taking classes for you, learn theoretically everything. We won't give you the exposure to actually practically try out. And if a student is having a different vision, I feel like though we belong to the department, you need to support the student having for a different vision and probably give them means to go ahead with it. So I feel like if these two things could have a role, I feel like it would motivate more students to actually go ahead with whatever they want to do. As I told you, I don't come from the similar background, so I don't get the amount of support that I want to do. People, my teachers go like, "You can't do this. You're not allowed to do this. It's an obligation. You are not allowed."
Nobody should tell me I can't do it.
No, it's not that. It's not nobody telling me not to do this. It's more like, I know I have a different vision. Just give me a bit of push. If you give me a bit of push, maybe telling that, hey, Aparna, I know you are not able to attend classes and I know you're doing great stuff. Maybe, it will feel more happy that, okay, people are there to support me in the journey. And also, most of the university that I see is like, even for MBA that matter, everything is theoretical. You are not exposed to the industries. There's one college in India which I can proudly say is Masters Union, which says that you learn by doing. So they basically put the students into places, they make them meet industry experts. So you learn over there, you work over there and you do it. They also have this thing that, where you have drop shipping challenge or people, from other industry experts, they come and they tell you how to you do. So the industry experts teach over there who already have an experience. So when you learn from them, you get how to actually do it than listening for someone who has just done MBA. So that one thing, and also you get to start your own venture at an early age and be mentored by people. Be mentored by people who have actually been in your own shoes, and then you actually know the journey, so it becomes a bit more easier. And also finding a co-founder also becomes easier with that.
Do you want to change your bioengineering field into something else. But university to create an option for you to now move into maybe MBA or move into another program.
I mean, yes, now after I complete my final year, definitely going for an MBA, which gives me an exposure that I learn by doing. So, yeah. Or probably they could have an elective where, it's just not about your course, but also an extracurricular course so that you can explore more. You don't have to have that stigma that, I chose this course, I have to just, my end goal is to be in this field itself. You probably could have an exploration that, maybe I could try this also out.
I'll check with Akib. Akib completed his MBA.
Yeah.
In the MBA, did they teach you how to build a company?
Uh,
Does MBA help you become an entrepreneur?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I know the reality, so I chose to, do it by myself. And I don't want to go through college meet. So I'm like, I learn where a university gives me an exposure to meet people, and it's actually helping me to do things and actually the theoretical four walls. Yeah.
How does the management program happen? You are in a role in a corporate, you are in innovation, you are building a venture within a company. You have an amazing entrepreneurial kind of role that you have. How has education helped you?
okay, so
The management education session.
so one thing that I always kept in mind when I started the so I'll tell you a story about the management education and then how the actual education happens when you're outside the world. Yeah. So I had a very good friend in my engineering who used to always say कि यार हम यहाँ पे पढ़ने नहीं सीखने आए हैं. So you're not here to study, you're here to learn. Yeah. So this was always in back of my head. So that's why, as I told, I never bothered about the marks and all. And then, if I have to give you a comparison of how actually the training happens, there we do not say कि course complete करना है. It's a training that associate has to go through in a corporate. So it's all about. So if I have to also give a feedback of how universities and the management institutes have to run, they have to run like a vaccine. Why do I say that? They have to run like a vaccine or a sandbox. Is that कि boss आप vaccine दे दो so that tomorrow when a bigger virus hits you, you're prepared for it.
Okay.
So the training in the corporate, when I actually went out and when I was nominated and selected to a lot of leadership trainings, when they give you, like I was part of a cohort where I was kind of leading 300 people for extracurricular, the employee engagement activities, where the idea itself was कि you play with 300 people and then so that you can lead 30,000 people, 3 lakh people in future. So the environment of creating a sandbox, कि you're prepared for it when you're actually in the business, when you're playing the money game or the value game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the difference, is that you actually get the experience, experiential learning. And here it's more of a theoretical. And that is where the difference comes in, where you actually feel it. You live the moment. You actually experience how do you handle that situation. You feel shit about yourself. But it's a closed environment where you have been put there to experience it. And then when you're in the actual environment, okay, boss, this is how the efficiency has to work. And let's do it because money is at the stake. Even though it's a corporate money, but it's money, right? You're accountable for it. So these are the difference that, that has to be inculcated here. And this, what corporate brings in. Not that I'm praising corporate, it's that a culture, a organization or structured organization which is surviving for 130 years or more than that is not a joke, right? It comes with a great value system.
Yeah. Okay. So education has a place.
Yeah.
It's a vaccine which gets you ready for when the bigger shocks hit you. Absolutely. It builds something into you, which, a knowledge base within you, which you can access. But still, things have to change. It has to be more practical, more hands-on, more applied. Pratusha, what do you want in a university? What is your wish list?
First thing is the university takes up a lot of time from the student in the class, making us sit in the class. It actually consumes a lot of time.
Sit in the class or stand outside the class?
Sit in the class.
And say it's a choice.
I'll say I'll sit in the class. Okay, coming from a student point of view. So I would not say I'm an amazing or a bright student, but I am a good student. Okay, fine. My CGPA is around 8, 8.5. So I would say I'm a good student only. So my parents are like, you do your thing once the college is done. You want to experiment, talk to your friends regarding entrepreneurship, do your business after the college. And the college is still 4:30. I have to come back home, do my CS studies, then find if my friends are free, then give them time and talk about my interests. So I think, colleges have to cut down their timings, probably reduce it and let us experiment on odd stuff.
Hey, at this age, you have to make friends. You have to explore so much, right? Let's just do this startup thing later in life. Let's just explore all that is out there. College should cut their time. You don't want to cut on your friends' time, right? So, why don't we just, push back a little bit on the entrepreneurship agenda? Why take so much on you at this time? Do it later.
I'm right now, because we are discussing about entrepreneurship, I thought I'm meeting my friends to talk about it. That's one of the point. The conversation eventually comes up. But definitely, I would want to go out, have, like watch movies with my friends, go around, travel to different places with my friends, because it's different when you go out with your friends. When you go out with your family, it's different. When you go out with your friends, it's different. At this particular age, I guess they should be allowed to, have such experiences. It gives you one or the other learning. If you're traveling, I'll tell you one thing. If you're traveling with your parents, you're protected. Your father takes care of all the money. He books the hotel, he takes care of the car. He's like, drop out here, watch all of this, get in the car, we'll go home. But if you go out with your friends, if it's a group of 8 people, one plans about the finances. Like, you give me the money, I'll take care of everything. And once one takes care about the hotel booking, and other 2 people just comes. They're like, I believe you, I come. Other 2 are worried, like about what's going on back in their home. So, but when you're with your friends, you kind of become responsible. At certain points, you become responsible, and you kind of become independent without your parents in making certain decisions, because nobody is behind you to tell, you're in a trip, I'll help you. No, you've come out. You have to figure out. If something happens over there, you have to figure out, because we are also scared that, if something happens, I can't go home and tell my parents this happened, because definitely they'll be scared and probably not help out with that as well. So that is
So we should let you be responsible.
yes,
We
yes,
should give you
absolutely,
more
yes.
freedom to experiment, right? But all these, fun activities and everything, if you are in the startup Lanesh, you've done it 3 times. Game there, but 24/7, you're in there. So are you missing the fun in life? Are you missing friends? Are you missing travel? Are you missing, exploration?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a bit traveler. I like to travel. So when I was young, I just used to take my bicycle and ride around 30 kilometers and 30 kilometers back. And again, when I was on the way, midway, I used to call my mom and tell that, hey, I'm on the way. And she used to be on, the phone till I come back. So I miss travel. I miss having fun. But then when you choose entrepreneurship, you have to be willing to sacrifice. There is no way around it. Like, because you are choosing a lifestyle that not many get into, right? It is very difficult to get into, first of all. So when you're wanting to go in this, you have to be willing to sacrifice. There's no other way, right? Everybody.
Is it also the feeling that you're feeling behind when you're not doing what you want to do? It's also that feeling you.
Yeah. Let's have this. Here's someone who has done it, and you've done it twice. And, in that process, all of you are aspiring to have all of this interesting exploration of friends, traveling, etc., other interest areas. And you want to start up now, and you are starting up right now. Maybe right now it's a fun game, okay? You are in the college, nobody's expecting you, money and all that. Hit you maybe a year later, and you have graduated, and when parents start saying, "Beta, now you have to become responsible. Now you have to make money, constant money, get a government job." Okay, then what? So if you pick up the entrepreneurship route, as Ganesh is saying, it demands a lot of time. So it gets serious. Right now, maybe it is fun, and when it gets serious, maybe you will not like it.
Finding a balance, I would say.
There is no balance. Like you're getting out of 9 to 5 to work 24/7.
But what if you have this whole brain rot thing that I'm so into it, I'm forgetting who I am in the journey?
that is the whole point. You have to forget who you are for a couple of years to see the fruits of your efforts, I would say. Well, everybody who has done it has been through the grind. You have to. That is a part of what you're meeting, right? And then just to touch upon three things that universities do, I would just pointed it out. So since I run a course, three things that I do in the course is that uh, I don't preach that. I don't tell that, hey, this is how you build something or this is what it is, right? It is more like a guiding, right? So the role of the university should be to guide students and make them do, like you said, right? Second thing is that providing students a safe space to fail. It is okay to try out and fail. It is fine because we are there to see what went wrong and what mistakes that we can avoid in the future, providing a safe space to fail. And then the third thing is that give them options and choices that, okay, you are doing this degree for 4 years, 5 years. These are all the options that you have at the end of your degree or whatever. And apart from this, there are also other things that you can still explore, right? So showcasing the breadth of the field and of the opportunities that come with it, I think that plays a big role in shaping the student mindset, in allowing the students to see what is available to them if they are pursuing the same path as the degree that they are at, right? And then you're telling biotechnology is not my thing. Should I jump into MBA? Jumping ships, basically, right? So that is fine in a way. Many dropouts are very successful, right? And remember, we only get to hear stories of success, right? There are a lot of people that failed. So it is not that you should keep jumping. Sometimes you have to go through the grind and see that to the end, right? Because if you keep jumping ships, you're not seeing anything to completion, right? You're just dropping off midway, and that should not become a habit. That is a very dangerous place to be in, that you're trying something out and then you're jumping, oh, this is not working, oh, let me go.
We are a cautious entrepreneur in the room with very ambitious, fun-filled, wannabe entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and this is amazing balancing being done. I'm very happy that this is happening. Happy to witness this negotiation music for his all.
I could think of one thing when he was talking about, you give the freedom for the students to fail. So one of my mentor in the training told that, how do I train students? Students are the associates who join, is that I know that they're falling. I'm seeing them fall. But what I do is I push them so that they fall fast and learn fast. So it's simple. Fail fast to learn fast. So you make that process so seamless and faster so that they learn faster, fail faster. And then, okay, now you're ready to fly.
So it is adding down to that. If everything goes well, you just know some of the steps to get there. But if something goes wrong, you will learn all the things that you shouldn't do to go wrong.
Absolutely, yes.
So like in software engineering, when we find bugs, right? And when we fix bugs, there is another bug. So I tell my interns, my students that, okay, stumbling upon bugs is good. You find another bug when solving that, it is still better because it's a different bug that you're trying to solve, right? So when you move towards that, when you're fixing problems, that is always progress in hand. You should not feel demoted because the kind of learnings that you get while fixing these failures is priceless. You cannot learn from any textbook, right? True. You have to go dive in, explore to see what went wrong, and then realize, okay, this is something that I should not do. And that learning that you find stays on throughout your life. You'll not make those same mistakes again. So failing is okay, again, to put it.
It's right.
So same thing, sir. So adding to this point, and later you asked about, why not we complete our graduate and then start up the thing. I think that was the process going on until, I can say, COVID. Until COVID, that process was happening. So we study, graduation happens, and then everyone go into graduate entrepreneurship, something like that. But when after this COVID, we saw that gradual change. So the gradual speed up which is happening, and where this push up is required from teachers, to faster, to fail faster. So making all these points, that coming to changes in that university, what we need, I think in this point, collaborating is most important because, universities cannot be perfect. So even if we change the university, we to any other top university as well, there will be some clauses in there, some backlog in there, which we require even there. So instead of thinking that way, why can't we think that we need to collaborate? So, spending inter-college days from our university to some of the top universities where they have more features and collaborating with the ones who have same idea. So for example, currently we are working on this rocket thing, but there are only top to 5 universities, the IITs in the naming. So why can't we join with them so that because they have the senior loop, the thing, because they have already been started 5 to 6 years ago, and seniors have been preaching their juniors thing, and it has been continued, and the knowledge has been stuffed up to specific point. But in our universities, nothing like that. So we are starting, if we start something, it will be from the base. So and until we come to a stage, we'll graduate, and this thing is not passing on to the juniors. So that is the point where our type of universities lag behind. But those universities are the where the seniors collaborate with juniors, and that process merges up, and the output is good. So that is where I see the difference between those we say as tier 1, tier 2 universities. So this is the main difference we can notice, and I have noticed in my experience till now.
Interesting. So we have a wish list, a long wish list of what all we want to change in our universities, right? More space for students to fail, more support for students to experiment, more collaboration opportunities, and more hands-on practical interaction with the industry and so on is what we need. Patusha, you want to add to it?
Adding to the point of talking about failures, so I know failure, uncertainties are there when you're starting a business. So here it's more like you're telling us that you're starting, you'll fail. Why is it that way? We know uncertainties are going to come, we are going to make mistakes. Why shouldn't it be like on the way you're starting something, you'll success, eventually you'll face uncertainties, you'll have problems, you'll solve it and then continue it? Why is it more like you'll start, you'll fail, you have to start all over again? Why is it not like adapting to the uncertainties from the mistakes that others have actually experienced?
So I'm saying failure because a lot of people drop out after the first fail, right? And when I say that it is okay to fail, I'm just preparing that things are going to come, whether we like it or not. Uncertainties are there, right? I can also replace that failure word with like a milestone that you reach with the learning, right? It's like a checkpoint. You don't go back. Once you reach that checkpoint, there's no going back. You start from there, right? So on your journey from moving 0 to 1, so let's say the failure happened at 0.1, 0.2. You don't go back to 0, right? You start from 0.2 because you have all the learnings with you. So the reason I put the word failure is because you have to know that if somebody tells you, whether you like it or not, if somebody points out and tells, hey, this failed, you should not take that into personally, right? Because people are going to point to people always stop, right? I'm putting the word right away because when somebody else tells you, you should not take it personally, because that is part of this and you should realize that it is a part of
Let's check the what do you mean by failure? Or what is failure for you?
Failure, I think experimenting, sir. So if we when we start something, we keep an aim. So what should we achieve? So what is the final output?
So is failure a good word for you, bad word for you?
It's good word for me, sir. So because that is the repetitive thing we'll be achieving when it comes to technical thing.
Failure is fun for me.
Yeah, it's good and fun for us.
He's the most loyal talent person on the field. I don't care what comes, but failure.
If I'm not able to execute the way I imagine to be, or I'm leaving it in the midway, for me, that's failure.
That's failure. And then how does it affect you?
It affects me a lot. I still have the guilt in me that, why did I take a pivot from my first venture? Probably I could have strived more harder, but then it was not feasible enough. So I still have the guilt, but probably when I reach a point in life where I have connections and I know have the skills, I'll again get back to my first venture.
Okay. Patusha, what is failure for you?
I want to say failure is actually an uncertainty that you'll face and probably move on after that. But the way failure is depicted normally is like you go down. Like you have to start over all. You have to start all.
Think about it.
I just feel like it's an uncertainty. You'll figure it out and move on.
So you have a negative connotation attached to it or a positive connotation attached to it?
In general, for the meaning of failure, I have a negative notation. But for me, it's just uncertainty and just a phase like you'll figure it out type.
Let us reveal it now. Can I please? Yes. What do you mean when you say failures? What is the significance of it? We have the philosopher of material study. Now let us define the failure. What is its significance for you?
I'll do ta-da.
What a basic.
If you don't fail, you don't know what it takes to win. Right? So failure.
My God.
Okay.
Because how do I put it? It is not a negative connotation. It shouldn't ever be, right? It is a path of learning, right? When you learn something, there is always failure. All of you might have heard that Thomas Edison, find 100,000 and 10,000 times different ways to find, light a light bulb, and then one thing worked out. And he says that I found out all the different ways that you shouldn't make light bulbs, right? So it is just a mindset, right? That you should have. You can call it failures, checkpoints, whatever word you want to put it. But then again, the only thing that matters is that fail fast and move forward. Don't have guilts, don't have regrets, right? You have to fail fast, move forward, right? You should not also keep especially in entrepreneurship, you shouldn't get stuck to an idea that I have this grand idea. Let me put out everything, all my efforts, 5 years, 10 years to solving that idea, no matter what happens in between. No, right? At the end of the day, you should see that what I'm doing is actually benefiting somebody or not, if it is actually solving some group of people's problem or not, if it is adding value to a person's life or not, and then evaluate yourself and then move forward. Failure for me is that if it is not taking any of these, then pivot, move forward, and see what else you can do in the field of entrepreneurship.
How do you not give up? Like, how do you bounce back from a failure?
That's good. When you're stepping into entrepreneurship, you should be prepared for this, right? It is not for everybody. Very few.
So see, saying you should be prepared for it is very abstract.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is your third startup. How did you pull yourself out of the first two failures, right? Failure, I mean, the word fail comes to us, in the very beginning when our parents tell us, padonge nahi to fail ho jao.
Hi, sir.
That is where the fear comes from, right? If they would have said, agar padonge nahi to sikhoge kaise, maybe the connotation would have been different. How did you, tell us exactly, first venture failed, and then how did you recover from it, and then went to second?
Yeah. So when first and second venture were almost parallel, right? I was doing two things at once. When first venture failed because it was an abstract, my way of thinking that a problem exists which doesn't really exist, that I was trying to solve. Second one failed because the problem was real, but then the way I put out in the business, the way I structured the business model around it was not well. But then those two things for me were failures in a sense that what all things that I missed while building those first two ventures, right? So what all things that I could have done better.
But were you sad for a few days? At what point you decided this is not working? The first two ventures, they are a failure. When did you put a full stop to them?
When I started talking to people, when I started talking to my current co-founder partner, that's when I decided that, hey, I could drag this along. I could still, because I could see the improvement. When I first started.
And how much time had you spent on these two ventures?
The second venture about 1.5, 2 years. The first venture for about 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
So at the end of 3 years, now you've spoken to your co-founder and other people, you realize I have to put a full stop to it, right? Then after that, how much time did you take to start with the third?
Immediately. So full stop, next day, start again.
These are very different kind of us.
Because one thing that I had in mind, like, again, consumption pattern, you filter through, you can choose the content that you want to consume. I've seen people talking about successful Y Combinator, this, that, anybody that are talking that, hey, you have to fail fast and move on, make something people want. These are the normal things. You go on the internet, first thing you search, you start hearing all of these things, right? So I had this at the back of my mind that, okay, founders are failing, they have failed, people have failed a lot of times, still they have bounced back and did it, right? So it is not something that is uniquely happening to me. I'm not some unique person that is stepping into it, that is failing. No, this is a common thing that happens.
So great. So, I'm sharing something positive about the social media and all the content which is out there, it is prepping you to deal with failure. It is making you more resilient. It is telling you it's okay.
I have a story here.
Okay, go.
So I remember when you told about the schooling कि नहीं पढ़ोगे तो fail हो जाओगे. So the reason why I say failure is fun is what I remembered is that I first failed when I joined kindergarten and I couldn't clear the admission exam. And teacher was hitting me to write A between CAT Cal. So that is where it started, and I have failed so many times. इतनी बार fail हो गए. Even engineering you failed, you had backlogs, you cleared it. कि failure ही ना लगे. You like it's fun because you'll anyways overcome.
You maxed out the embarrassment, the fear, everything.
सब शर्म वरम बेच दिया, like हो गया इससे ज़्यादा क्या होता.
That's another way of doing it. But yeah, I think these words have a lot of meaning. And we use these words, but everyone is meaning different things. And that is where probably, I thought, if you talk about what this word means to you, we can bring a lot of sanity, at least from the viewpoint of an entrepreneur. What does failure, the rate of iteration is the single most important determinant of your success. Iteration means you fail, and then you change, and then you fail, and then you change, right? So, hence, I wanted Ganesh to speak in the end because he's done it and he will, in the end, take the right definition of right.
Sir, like I had one similar thing like that.
Yeah.
I think the failure is also about the mindset, what we think, because I catch up with this in the sense, in the first competition where we attended, same, me and Abhay, we went, participated, and, somewhere we got a mindset that we are not winning. We won't be winning this competition. We just took our bags, packed everything, went to room and slept. The competition was not ended yet. Results were it. We went and we slept. So because it was our first competition and we had no ops regarding. We slept around 2 to 3 and we woke up around 6 or 7 with full chill. And we see that in our phones we have 10 to 15 calls in each phones. Then when we get back to professor, they're like, where were you? You were the winners of the competition. Why haven't you been here? Why have you went so far? So I think that was also a point of the thinking about failure. So we predefine ourselves. We are in the path of failure in that sense. And also that, sir, I wanted to ask sir the question that the two ventures which have been failed out. It's never that same ideas have been occurred to other people. So I think you would have met same idea who have spoken about that. So I'll be doing same thing. So and similar way, have you got any such ideas that I think at this time, so after the first venture which you stopped at 3 years and you worked on 1.5 year for second venture. So while doing this second venture or third venture, did you get any mindset that I can restart first or second one? Because now the time is there for that thing.
So currently in my third startup, we are not generating ideas. First point. So my first venture was based out of an idea, a superficial problem that I'll explain what the idea was. So we were in COVID times, right? We were at home working. And I saw that when we were in college, you're in college right now, right? The regular conversations, how you bond with your friends is by sharing your likes and interests, right? You share, even you might have a classmate who you spend your 2 years, 3 years as a classmate. But then in one conversation, he drops a song that you might both like, or you drop a movie that you both like. That instantly makes a connection, right? And then you bond over that common interest, and then you be friends for a long time. What I noticed was after we graduated, when we were in job, that conversations was not happening. The interaction was limited to us sharing memes in groups, right? But the actual bonding happened when in the actual conversations that were happening when we were in a campus was around the likes and interests of people, right? You say, okay, I like this is very good, and then a conversation on that. I like this music, this is good, a conversation on that, right? So it was based on sharing mutual interests. So my first venture was about, hey, can we bring all of those interests in a single place so that anytime I meet a new person, I don't have to remember and wait for 2 months, 3 months to drop those interests. I can immediately connect, and then all the interests will be there, like a union of sets. You can immediately see what the common interests are, and then we can immediately bond over that.
Yeah.
There is also another startup, Russian startup, that is doing that, right? Which is self-funded by a founder, not outside investors are using it. But my problem with the first this venture was that I did not consult my customers. I did not talk to them if they really wanted this or not. I did not consult that, hey, are you willing to spend that 2 minutes of your day, 3 minutes of your day to put out your favorite movie or not? They were not willing to do it because they have 20, 30 apps on their phone. Most of them spend in 1 or 2 apps scrolling, right? And you're asking them to take out 2, 3 minutes in just updating. Nobody's willing to do that, right?
Yeah.
So that is when I realized very late that, hey, this is not going to work out because I'm asking people to change their behavior, right? I'm asking people to change their behaviors to open a new app and share their data, which they're not done before, which they're not used to before. Second venture which I started parallelly was around, I think, after 1.5, 2 years into the first venture, I started my second venture. It was a university bus tracking solution. Started piloted for REVA University. Pilot was very well taken out for 5 months. I noticed that students and drivers and faculties are in a common WhatsApp group. Somebody random shares location on the WhatsApp group, and then everybody follows that. And if location is not shared, somebody tells that, hey, please share the location, and then somebody shares it. And then there's a problem of privacy that everybody's number is there. What if somebody's phone gets into some wrong hands, and then all 4 numbers are leaked? So those things. So we solved that by building a solid platform, web app, not web app, mobile app, and then sharing the location. Pilot went well. What I did wrong was the business model around it. So I was very greedy. So I thought, okay, I have one university. Let me get all my operational expenses from this one university. That was very wrong, right? So that is how the second venture failed. Now what I realized was, first venture failed because I was building on top of an idea. Second venture failed because of the business model that I started. Now this third venture, third startup, is that I'm not generating any ideas. Ideas everybody can have. I will prioritize problems. So even if I have the idea, I will go and talk to the target customers of that idea and see that if this is a real problem that they're facing or not. Only if it is a real problem, if I solve it, if it is adding value, then only I will attempt to solve it, right? So, and the business model around it. So if I solve the problem, what is the how much are they willing to pay for this problem to be solved? So these two, when it combines harmoniously, I think any idea or any problem statement can be solved very effectively. So these two learnings is helping me build third startup.
So there's some research which says when you educate students about entrepreneurship, their interest in entrepreneurship declines. Okay, so let me just do a check here. Do you want to continue being an entrepreneur after listening to all of this?
Yes, because I'm getting a heads up about what I will face so that I have solutions already ready that, I know I'll face this, so I'll have more efficiency to counter those problems, no?
Okay, Pratusha, what about you? Let's be very honest. What is the first feeling that you're getting when you're listening to all of this? It's not exactly a dark side, but the gray side of entrepreneurship, right? It requires a lot of resilience, and you have to get up again and again, pivot, iterate, and so on, and sacrifices, right? Are you scared now?
Scared, yes. But I would say no, I will definitely continue being an entrepreneur because somewhere back of the mind, that inner child always wanted to do something, and I'll definitely do. This will always be a lesson that I'll take up and probably go ahead with it. So it's yes, I'll definitely continue.
Are we dissuading you from, even thinking about remotely an option?
No, sir. It's nothing like that. So I'll be continuing this entrepreneurship thing. But when you said the coaching part, the research part, I think that's true, sir, because I'll give an proof for that.
Okay.
So the thing is, we had that entrepreneurship course in our first semester in our college, and that was a fixed term. So in the sense, we'll be having 1 or 2 classes every week, and they'll give the PPT template, and we have to just fill the template. And if we do something extra apart from that, our marks are gone, and and we are not to be considered. So when this thing happens, but at that time, I had the difference between what will be in the college part and what I am doing. So what is the entrepreneurship in the classes and entrepreneurship outside? So not exactly entrepreneurship, but that idea I had, so relate to that thing. So that set me apart from that. No, this is not what I am aiming and this is what I am aiming for. So that difference made me clear is that, okay, fine, this is for just for marks. I need marks. I have to complete that part.
But does that demotivate you? Oh, the marks are getting cut. What kind of subject is this? Entrepreneurship is not.
Demotivating in the sense, I just managed getting marks, sir. So when I got marks, I got over 8.5 itself in that sem. So I was not discouraged. And if I use, like, due to that, if I got less than 8 in that sem, that would be a great downfall for me because, parents are looking our marks. When parents are looking our marks and I need to do both, and both are not falling into my basket, so that would be a downfall, or I would change my decision. So what I would do, so this thing.
Let me ask one more question.
I have one thing to add on here. Someone very wise told me this, if you already knew all the problems, probably you wouldn't have that courage to start your startup also. And that really changed my mind. If I already knew, why would I start it? So I learned it along the way that, problems will come and you'll find solutions along the way.
So, my question is on the similar lines. Would you rather that I tell you success stories of entrepreneurs, or would you rather that I give you failure stories of entrepreneurs?
Failure stories. Because I learn, okay, they failed here, probably then I shouldn't make the same mistake.
See, traditionally, all the books that you've read, stories that we hear, stories were meant to inspire us, right? Do you remember stories where the protagonist dies in the end? I mean,
Yes, sir.
think about old
Yes, sir.
which are tragedy movies, right?
Yes, sir.
And then you sit through 3 hours, 2.5 hours of story, and the protagonist dies in the end, and you come out crying. Do you like those stories? All stories end with a happy ending.
We do if there is a suspense cut up on Bahubali ko kyun hai.
There is a genre now, and there is a category of movies which are horror, which are sensitive, romance, this that. So the different categories of course now, right? But traditionally or historically, movies have stories have been told to inspire people, to go to war, to join forces, right? To build courage, to undertake something impossible, right? So now, should we tell you, and mostly what you would hear, which Ganesh said earlier, are the stories of successful entrepreneurs. You see Shark Tank, you see several other newspapers or online, right? People who raised funding, people who sold products, become richest people. Everybody want to chase. You want to become a person who has failed so many times? Where are those stories? You don't have those stories, right?
I feel like tell the success stories, but tell the hard part, what was there over there. Tell the failures that you faced. Why are you just glorifying success that I did it in my first shot?
We are tricking you into it. Okay. So, yeah, Pratusha, what would you prefer? Would you prefer success story or failure story?
Right now, I would say success stories because I've heard failure stories. So I want success stories. I want to be motivated by listening to them and continue further.
Okay. There's a fine balance.
I have an answer. I want to listen to success stories of those people who have failed multiple times.
Then it's a severe.
Yeah.
After failing. Eventually, you want a success.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
In these days, when it comes to social media, sir, I think it's common that we find success stories everywhere. Actually, we get to know. So if someone gets investments, so it will be it's not like in one channel. It will be like 10 channel publishing the same news. So the success parts get spreaded easily. But the failure doesn't happen such that, and that is where we need the stories.
I will have a panel of entrepreneurs whose ventures have not done well. I'll talk to them. Right? It's successful ventures, everyone brings out. There's something there.
Right. I was thinking the same thing because nobody talks about failures because nobody asks about failures, right?
Yeah.
The media and the social media, the internet is tuned in such a way that people want to see good things only, right? So I think it is a very good category for you that wake up on us and ask them the tough questions of what failed, right? You could maybe create that genre of startup since you're getting.
Maybe that's an idea that Aparna would like.
I mean, I would like.
Mental health of entrepreneurs.
Yes, that's a good thing. I mean, I am in this notion you're telling me a success story, but you're not telling me the hard part. What went over there? Tell me that. I want to listen.
Nobody asks.
We'll start this whole journey.
She's like, you all do entrepreneurship. When you fail, you come to me. I give you wellness. That's my business.
Use marketing. 90% of the ventures fail. Yeah, use
Mental health. Come for me for mental. How do you fix that?
Okay. Let's move on to another topic, and then we will close after that. So, yes, there is a hard side of to entrepreneurship. There's a lot of iterations that you have to do, a lot of time you have to invest, a lot of sacrifices you have to make. Okay, but then there are systems that universities, that government is trying to install in place to help hedge that risk, to help reduce that uncertainty a little bit, to provide a little more sandboxed environment, for example. Okay. One such entity is called the Business Incubation Center. So, at least I think both of you have gone to REVA Nest,
Yes.
the incubation center, and of course, Danesh was incubated there as well. Do you know about the incubation center?
I do know when I was here, but I did not actively participate.
So you're aware of what it does.
True, because I have it in my company. So we are incubating it.
So you know that.
So I work there. So
You know the idea of the incubation
True.
center.
Yeah.
That's great.
We have been registered this at REVA Nest.
You have registered?
Yeah, like our ideas have been registered in the.
Okay, so all of you know about the incubation center. That's great.
Yeah.
Now, what do you get out of the incubation center? What do you want from the incubation center? These are two questions.
Okay. So, before we joined for REVA Nest, we were thinking on the same ideas, and we were just two of us fighting that we'll register this idea or not, because that ideas were common when it comes to drone. The last 2 years, it was a rapid growth of the drones. So wherever we go, the drones attacks were common, and the drone developments were common. So, but when we reached there, so my first question was that, ma'am, this is our idea, and I know these ideas are already present here, but we are not accurate that what are the new thing we are making changes, but these are the things we are doing. So is that accurate for us? But that REVA Nest, when we joined there, that gave us a kickstart. So okay, this is what you are doing, this is what they need, and that they bridged the gap between by networking with the founders, previous founders, what they have done in the similar work. And also incubation center helps in such a way that by bringing mindful people together. So there are also people, so for me, I know the idea what I have to do, but there are few people, they think that I can execute something, but I don't have idea. I have to join to the teams which have idea, and I have to work with them. So that REVA incubation centers brought up all mindset people, and this helped us to grow from the existing stage, and also the different perspective, because when we go for incubation center, it's nothing like that only our idea is there. So something similar ideas will be brought up by the other teams as well. So when we merged up again, so similar idea mindset, when two teams merge, I think there will be a stronger team ahead, front ahead. So these were the advantages what we got from the incubation
More
center.
people, you get to see more ideas, you get to see other people what they are doing.
Yes, sir.
And then you can collaborate, you can,
Both flaws and the advantages what we had.
Okay, great. Let's go to, have you been to incubation center, Pratusha?
I just know that incubation center just acts as a catalyst, but I have no clear idea. But I just wanted to ask a question. How is your idea protected in that incubation center? Because we also have to talk about stealing of your ideas. How is it protected?
So the documents are maintained. So we'll be before mentioning our idea, we'll be given documents such that we'll not be revealing idea. Actually, when we register for incubation center, right, we won't reveal our idea. We will just give the perspective on which area we are working on. So once we contact with them, and they'll say that if there are any ideas respective that, because before if they are already registered, they won't be able to register our idea. So
But you'll just mention your not like the perfect idea, but just the broader part of that.
yeah, because see, when we come to idea, we won't be bringing huge idea like new product itself. Majorly,
Chetan, do you care?
sir.
Do you care that your idea is shared with others?
No, I won't care, sir, because
Why do you care?
see, it depends.
It's your idea, you work on it, you develop it.
Depends on the field, because
What is the value of an idea?
0.
Ganesh?
yes, sir, because it depends on the field. So I am from mechanical background. Until we create a product, the idea is of no use. we'll just be working on that. There are many, like there can be people who can execute the same idea faster.
According to law, I have heard idea can't be registered. Like a physical product can be registered.
Registered meaning what?
Protected by law.
Protected by.
So,
right. So Facebook, Facebook, who started, somebody else had the idea,
Yes.
Zuckerberg executed it.
Yes.
Apple, somebody else had the idea, Steve Jobs was able to execute it in the best possible. They partnered, of course, right? Likewise, you look at, great companies or several other startups. Ideas are dime a dozen. Several ideas. I can give you a list of 500 ideas. I have a list of 6,000 plus ideas. Okay. But what matters is who can take it to life, who can execute it faster, better, with high quality, right? With a great business model. That is where the fight is. It's not at the protecting the idea. When it comes to technology, you have to protect it. When it comes to patents and so on, right? That is something that can be protected, and you should do that. But ideas are so very, out there. Yeah.
So I would like to add to this. One is finding problem statement. That is very important, right? If you get an idea, ideas are good because ideas, problem statement you will find for the existing things that are there in this world. Ideas are a way to bring out new things, manifest new things in this world. So in that way, ideas are important. But when you have that idea, you should not feel that, hey, I have this great idea. Let me just keep it to myself and then I will build in a closed loop. No, like you should share and talk about it as much as possible so that you can refine it to the core of the solution.
And you can possibly find collaborators. As a new reality you're trying to create, how will you do it on your own? You will need all the other people, their resources, their network. Welcome to the crazy world of entrepreneurship.
But one perspective I have here is instead of validating the idea, it's like there's a saying, right? The innovator's dilemma, or they say this dialogue that you ask the problem. It's like if Ford would have asked people, like how do you? The saying is, right? They would have people have asked, we need a faster horses. Because they never imagined that they can also move in a car. Because the entrepreneur can imagine that innovation, but you know what is that idea that you're thinking about. But the problem that you're validating is, do you want to travel faster from point A to point B? How I will find it out.
Right. See, in the exam paper, same question for everyone. Everyone has a different answer. Right? It's just like that. Same question can be asked to different people, and then everyone has their own imagination. Their own human potential gets unleashed there, and based on who you are, what do you know, who do you know, you just pursue that idea in a very different way compared to others.
For a lawyer, a business is just like you are starting your own law firm. It's the same. Every law firm is the same. It's just you'll have different departments in it. So that is how a law student or a lawyer perceives entrepreneurship or starting a company or a business. For me as a law student, when you guys are telling you're registering something or you're putting up your idea is protected, I see it from that perspective of, it is your idea. Like it is your company.
The word registration in law has a different meaning. Which she's thinking probably you incorporated a company and so on, which of course you can also do. But what you were meaning.
So we consider that stage when we finalize our product. So when we say, we call it as prototype or that thing. So at least our 70 to 80% of the product has been finalized. Then we go for the documentation, those things. Until then, we just we have to revise those ideas until we reach there, right? And this idea sharing, right? I think entrepreneurs use as like pumping up, because once the idea is out, there'll be tense that what if someone executes?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when someone executes, then we have that mindset and we'll be pumped up that no, we have to find the solution faster. And in that way, when something similar happened, when I posted my first achievement in the LinkedIn, some guy contacted me that I have already done this thing, how did you do? So I just texted him that I just give it to ChatGPT. I just presented. So what can I do? He said, I have registered this idea, those things and all. And I was like, fine. It was just an idea of prototyping thing. So I'm ready to collaborate with you and work with you. So we are working together. He's staying in Delhi. I'm staying in Bangalore, but the idea is still in execution. This is how I think, one example where we considered, and for entrepreneurs, I think I think that, considering this law and all, law and all are headache for us. We won't, we won't believe in that thing that, but until we, something in like provides, for example, financial, when it comes to financial matter, okay, we need law.
We land in trouble.
Yeah. Until we won't look into that. So once we land into trouble, I think you guys will be there to take care of it.
I'll let you on one point here. So Amazon was one of the first e-commerce sites to come in, right? And they had the idea, they figured out that single button checkout is something that seamlessly completes their process of buying, like more chances of people buying. And they protected that idea of single button checkout. So for 10 to 15 years, I guess nobody else had that monopoly on using that single button checkout. So in that way, if you have a clever way of doing something, that can be protected. That system can be protected by IA. So we have to see not the whole idea or a product as such, but even a small part of it that adds real value can be protected by law. So as our we can be aware of what is actually adding value. How can
Okay.
So, one thing that I learned at the early stage was when I was learning, it's like to run a company, you just need three things. One is a lawyer, second is a product, third is a finance guy. HR, finance, HR, building, fancy office is all good to have.
Okay. So we were talking about incubation center. What kind of support do you get? And of course, he's mentioned some. Let's go to Aparna. What has been your experience?
I've been incubated at the REVA for like a year, and the kind of support I got was like I got good mentorship over there. And also, if I didn't have a skill set, there were people who were ready to intern in my company, and the skill set could combine and get into a more larger extent. So, probably if you don't have the skill set, you could hire people who would contribute to it. So, that's like the one major thing that I got from the incubation center.
Okay, Ganesh. So we've had a lot of discussion on incubation center. We've heard the perspectives of different people, but from your viewpoint, somebody who has gone through this journey, right? You've been in the incubation center for some time, and you've seen the support system. What do you want to change in the incubation centers? And there are several incubators across the country, and probably there is something for us to learn from an oracle.
So three things. I think in short, I'll just keep it short. So what has worked for accelerators globally, which are churning out good startups, is that having office hours. That is having a specified day and time where all the founders, all startups come together and just interact about their ideas, what they are building, right? And sharing goals with each other. So having office hours is something that all incubators can start so that people know what are their peers doing, right? And having accountability, having office hours will have a side effect of having accountability. Hey, that I'm publicly telling that I'm doing this. Next week I'm in the office hours, people are going to ask me what is that metric moving forward or not. So having public accountability through office hours is something that incubators can implement very easily, in fact. And then building a collaboration mindset, which I feel that it is still lacking. That is, everybody is there sitting in their workspace and building in their own silos still. So having a collaborative mindset and sharing knowledge with each other is something that all startups and the incubation center as a whole can benefit from each other. So all of these 3 points are linked together. So having office hours, building accountability through collaboration. So this is something very easy to implement.
Okay. So we've gone through a lot. We've asked a lot of questions. We've reflected a lot, and you people have answered each other's questions through this process as well. And that's what I promised in the beginning. I'm going to speak less, and I'll have all of you talk to each other more. Okay. So let's bring this to a close. What are the key takeaways for each one of you? What is one new interesting thing that you have learned, from this interaction? What are you taking away from it? Aparna.
Be more patient and have resilience. I feel like we, this generation, lose out on a lot of patience. If this doesn't work, we are like giving it a try right away. Instead of that, I feel like figure out what went wrong and have more patience to it. Not everything comes easily. Along the way, you'll do it, I feel.
Great. Patience and resilience. Okay. What about you, Pratusha?
I have learned that there is no particular timeline to start. You can start it whenever you want.
Okay.
With all the required amenities that you have to make sure you start. Then you'll figure out uncertainties come up. That is why you're there. Then problems come up. You'll eventually solve it and have the motivation of why you started so that you'll have the motivation to continue.
Okay. Great. So there's no timeline and you take your time to start. Ganesh, probably the most dense person with information right now on the table. Is there any takeaway or have you just given up all information to us?
Four key things that come to my mind.
Okay.
So first thing is from a very famous song, I would say, 90s song from Aerosmith. Its song name is Dream On. There is a line like you have to lose to know how to win. And so that's one thing. Second thing is that you can fail 100 times, but you only have to win once.
Okay.
Right? So that is one. And then having same ideas are okay. That you see that somebody is building something, like should I build the same thing? That is completely fine. There is something called as market share, that not everybody can get the whole market share.
Yeah.
So there is always a share in the market that you can fit it to. So building same idea is okay. So see what else can you add on top of it? What else can you innovate on top of it? And the last thing is that don't be afraid to share your ideas, right? So you have to keep talking to people and sharing your ideas so that you bring it down to the core of what you should solve and how you should solve it. So I think these four things are making it.
Great. Let's go to Akib, the most chill person in the room. Is there, has anything shaken you? Do we have your attention?
Yeah, absolutely, yes. If I have to answer about the takeaway from me, it's the people. Tomorrow I can give you a call, or necessarily we were in the same podcast, you want to collaborate with your incubator. Or maybe I can call up Ganesh telling that why don't we do something. So it's the people and the connection that has always been takeaway, and that's helped me as well. So this is a takeaway. And of course, listening to stories is always opening some windows in the head. New realization happens.
Great. Thank you. Chetan,
Yes, sir.
what have you learned in this process?
So much, sir. So I used to think like I'm completely different there. I have to set up my mind, and I have to set up to the others. So, but listening to her and after sharing my things and saying that no, you are on right path and you are on perfect way, I think I can collaborate. It takes time, and I think that I'm in a certain path, good path, and with the coordination and with your supports, of course, we'll be going in the same process. That is what I like to take away.
Thank you so much for taking time and being here. If you remember, when we began the conversation, we said the reason we are doing this is we want to understand what our students thinking. Okay, we are doing a survey which is giving us some data, but then what is the meaning of that data? If 14% students say they want to become entrepreneurs when they graduate, will those 14% actually convert into entrepreneurs? What will be the reasons they will actually not go ahead with it? What do we need to support them? How do we make sure that this intention of becoming an entrepreneur gets converted into action also? How do I know that? I had to talk to studios. That is why I invited all of you and amazing set of students here and bringing different perspectives. So takeaways for me from this conversation, what have we learned? In the beginning, you are at home, your parents are taking care of you, and they invest in you, and you are their money tree. Somebody said, probably, many parents think like that. Many students feel responsible. Many students feel that, they have to pay back that loan. They owe it to their parents, to the society, and so on. And then you step into college. And then there are multiple opportunities that you want to explore, right? You want to explore all your creativity, ambitions, and you want to become a different person now that you have more freedom. And probably parents are guilty of correcting you too much, telling you, taking decisions for you. But now you have this freedom where you want to explore and learn. And then you are making choices. Then you're looking at your friends, right? You're sitting on coffee tables, having crazy discussions about interesting ideas, unique ideas, competitions, so building planes and drones and robots and experimenting with, law and with biotech, not so much, more with podcasts and content creation or, what have you. So you do that, and then there is an ecosystem. There's an ecosystem in the university where you have an incubation center. They provide you some support. There's faculty in the classroom who are trying their best, but of course, ye dil mange more. If you want more freedom, you want more hands-on, you want more industry interaction, like you want more projects. So we've noted all of that. And small competitions, small events, joining hands with your classmates, other people, going out, venturing out, going to competitions, winning some, not having enough confidence in yourself, whether and make it, but then you switch off your phone, you sleep it off, wake up your work. Okay. And volunteering for several opportunities that come your way, not letting them go. All of that gives you confidence and you start believing in yourself, right? And some of you become completely, super confident, saying, who cares? I want to become the richest person, and we have ambitions. Of course, that's amazing to hear as well. And then on the way, you begin with something. You have an idea that you start executing. You're also afraid of sharing your ideas with others. Right? There's several apprehensions about what if others do better than me. But hesitantly, you begin with whatever support you get, you begin. And venture one, venture two. And then you learn that there is, it's not as fancy. It's not as fancy. You need to build patience. You need to have resilience. You need to fail and learn from it. You need to fail fast, you said. And all of that gives you more information, more knowledge, more ways in which not to do things. And hence it's a game of elimination, right? You eliminate whatever should not be done, and then whatever you're left with, you experiment with that, and keeping confidence high, finding support outside, continue to build your network. You find your way through it in your own time. In your own time, right? There is no right time for everyone. Do you want to become an entrepreneur now or later is completely your choice. Do you want to become an entrepreneur or do you want to live your life entrepreneurially? Working for someone else, working in an environment, right? Starting a law firm, becoming a professor, whatever you want to do. But life can be also lived entrepreneurially, and it's all an exploration till the end. We continue to explore new avenues. We continue to explore our own selves. Who are we? What do we want? What makes us happy? Do I have to make sacrifices or do I have to chase everything that I want and achieve it? I think that's the quest all of us are on. And entrepreneurship or not, at the end of the day, we're all human beings. We have, aspirations, we have desires, we have needs, we have wants that we want to achieve and ultimately want to be happy, satisfied and fulfilled. And we'll have that if we follow the path of exploration in our own time, being patient, being resilient, and seeing what happens, not sort of creating, of course, imagining what would happen in the best case scenario, but not getting bogged down by what happens, getting up every time we fall down and continuing on that path. That is entrepreneurship from a student's perspective, unscripted. We gathered these 5 students here and we had a conversation open-ended. And this is what we have learned. And I hope these learnings open a lot of ideas, open a lot of doors, open a lot of network for students who are raring to start, who are hesitating probably to begin on an entrepreneurial idea or on any other career aspiration that they have. The time is now to take action. I hope students who are aspiring to become an entrepreneur, they crack entrepreneurship. So, thank you very much. Thank you to all of you for joining us.
Thank you for the opportunity, sir. Thank you, sir.